Okay, so if you watched my previous video, I mentioned 4 things that the federal government is doing to make it easier for small businesses in this economy. Out of the 4 things, one thing stuck out. I got a lot of messages and calls from people who wanted to know 1. How much they'd receive out of the $25,000 ATO credit, and 2. How to actually access this credit. So let's go through this. First of all, the only way you can access this credit is to lodge your March and June BASs. These are the only 2 periods this credit will be paid out of. Secondly, the total cap on this credit is $25,000. And thirdly, the amount you receive is going to be 50% of the amount you withhold from your employees. So if you withhold $10,000 from your staff for the March quarter, you will receive 50% of that, which is $5,000. The great thing is though, if you have staff and you don't pay enough to pay withholding, you can still access up to $2,000 as a credit. To make things easier for you, I've done 2 examples. First of all, let's talk about Susan. Susan runs a small construction business. For the March quarter, she pays $100,000 in wages. Out of the $100,000 in wages, she has to withhold $30,000 in PAYG withholding. Under this system, she'll receive a credit of 50% of that, which is $15,000. Move on to the June quarter. Again, she pays $100,000 in wages and withholds $30,000. The 50% credit is again $15,000, but this time the cap has been reached at $25,000, so she'll only receive a credit of $10,000, making it $25,000 in total. Moving on from that, let's look at Anthony. Anthony runs a small business. While he does have staff, he doesn't pay a lot in wages. So for the March quarter, he pays $10,000 in wages and doesn't have to withhold anything. He will still receive $2,000 in the March BAS. For the June BAS, again, he lodges $10,000 as wages paid. However, because the $2,000 cap has already been reached, he will not receive any credit. Overall, the advice I can give as an accountant in this scenario is lodge your BASs on time so you will receive this credit as soon as possible.